It's the holidays with story time. Are you ready for the holidays? I am, and I'm so excited. Are you ready for the Christmas lights and the Christmas trees and Christmas caroling? I am. How do you like my antlers? Aren't they funny and cute? I'm so ready to read a special story for you today. It's The Mouse Before Christmas. Sounds a lot like The Night Before Christmas, but the title again is The Mouse Before Christmas. Story tip number 1, always look at the cover of the book to get an idea of what the story is going to be about. We've got a very special Christmas mouse, and we've got Saint Nick. That's a fancy word for Santa Claus. Let's get started. The Mouse Before Christmas. On the night before Christmas, there was a young mouse who was stirring and whirling all through the house. He longed to see Santa, that jolly old soul, so he stayed awake late. Then he crept from his hole. Look at him. He's got a very special ornament in his hands. He's being very, very quiet because, look, someone's sleeping. That mouse should be sleeping. Out in the kitchen, Mouse stacked up a treat. Chocolate chip cookies for Santa to eat. He made not a sound as he hurried and scurried, but Puss was asleep, so he needn't not worry. You know what would happen if that cat were awake. He'd be chasing that mouse. And you know, he brought cookies for Santa, but what about the reindeer? Do you ever put goodies out for the reindeer, like carrots or apples? Now onto the fireplace, Mouse gave a sigh. Though the cookies were heavy, he held the plate high. Next, where to hide? Mouse looked around quick. Snug in a pot, he could spy on Saint Nick. Look at him hiding in that pot. Mouse waited and wondered and almost dozed off. Dozed off means he almost went to sleep. Until hoofbeats and sleigh bells came from aloft. Aloft means came from above. From out of the fireplace, bang, crash, and tumble, popped merry old Nick in a heap and a jumble. Look, he's come down the chimney, and he's accidentally bumped the table, and he bumped the pot that the mouse was in, and look at the mouse tumbling. And guess who else scampered away? The cat. Mouse was delighted. His wish had come true. But what now, he wondered? What more could he do? As Nick stuffed the stockings which started to sag, Mouse tippy-toed near for a peek in Santa's bag. Look at him tippy-toeing while Santa's busy. Soon Santa was done. Time to hurry away. He snatched up his sack and sprang out to his sleigh. With a swoosh and a swish, Mouse was bundled inside. But down in the darkness was no place to ride. It's stuffy, it's crowded, Mouse started to shout. And he squeezed and he wiggled and he scrambled to find a way out. Look, Santa's on the top of the roof, and guess who's in that bag? That mouse. He soon spied a place to poke his head free, then beheld all around him sight splendid to see. He was high above earth in the winter night sky, streaking past stars in a sleigh that could fly. Mouse loved this new feeling, and when he looked down, far distant below shone the lights of his town. Look how high they are. Onto rooftops, down chimneys, old Santa did race. Mouse marveled that the reindeer could keep up the pace. They soared past high mountains and they skimmed low near a river. The twists and the dips and the turns set his tummy a quiver. Look at them riding together. Over bridges and castles and towers they flew. The rooftops of London gave Mouse a great view. Santa doesn't miss anyone's home. Look, there is London Bridge. and next to London Bridge is Big Ben. Thrilling sights waited in each foreign land. In Holland, the windmills by moonlight looked grand. Look at the windmills. Aren't they beautiful? Mouse had never imagined a world so wide. He lost count of the wonders he'd seen on his ride. Crossing cities and countries over desert and sea, past the Sphinx and two towers and Miss Liberty. Look, this is a Sphinx, and it can be found in Egypt. And look, there's a tower that's leaning. We call it the Leaning Tower of Pisa, and it's in Italy. And what is this tower called? Is it the Eiffel Tower in Paris, France? And look what we have here. It's a very special statue in our country, in the United States, the Statue of Liberty. Do you know what state that can be found in? New York. At the end of the night, at the very last house, Santa peeked in his sack. Why, what's that, a young mouse? Mouse was so startled, he'd feared he'd just squeak. But in Santa's kind gaze, he found he could speak. Oh, Santa, I'm sorry for sneaking this ride, but your bag was so tempting, I climbed right inside. Look at Santa looking down at the little mouse. Santa just chuckled. Little friend, don't you worry. Hop on my hat, you'll be home in a hurry. Mouse clung to the fringe. The wind chilled his face. The rocket-like sleigh zoomed and hurtled through space. He's holding on tight. Back home, safe and sound, there were presents for all. The one Mouse liked best was a hat marked size small. Then Santa crouched down till his beard touched the floor. The friends waved goodbye through the little front door. It was so late at night, Mouse was ready for bed, but he wanted to try his new hat on his head. It was just the right size, not too big, not too small. A hat just like Santa's. Mouse felt proud and tall. Look at him trying on his little hat. And look at his friends. What are they doing? They're sleeping. You know, that mouse should be sleeping too. He's had an exciting night. Mouse snuggled down, letting dreams fill his eyes, hearing words meant for him from a voice deep and wise. If you do all the things that a good mouse should do, don't be surprised when your wishes come true. Merry Christmas, dear mouse. Merry Christmas to you. Look at all the other mice. They're all excited and they're opening up their presents. But this little mouse is still asleep. I wonder why. Because he had a very exciting evening and a very busy evening. Wasn't The Mouse Before Christmas a great holiday book? I'm glad you were here with me to enjoy it. Do you remember the fancy word that we called Santa Claus? Do you remember? It's Saint Nick. Very good. I know you've been very good boys and girls. And I know I don't have to worry about you getting sticks and ashes. So get ready, because Santa Claus is coming to town. We'll see you next time for Story Time.